Guys and girls and everybody in between. We are the Shady Book Club, and we are here every Friday at 8:30. Give or take a few minutes. And this week we have the delightful Emilia Dashfire. And her and Shara are going to geek out about fantasy, and I'm going to sit here and try and keep up. So keep your questions coming, keep the screens a tapping, and keep sharing and liking. Do all of those things that you know you should do, and keep us. We'll try and keep you entertained. So, first question, because mine are not open yet. Go.
Okay. First book you had published and when?
Out of Ashes, back in February 2023, so a couple of years ago now. And yes, it's a gothic fantasy about music, magic, and madness.
Oh,
Interesting.
Right. I found
That's
it
my
now.
pride and joy.
Yes, I think the first is always going to be known as the baby, and the one that you started tipped you over the edge to actually put pen to paper. Okay. What influences the genres you write about?
The genres that I read, I mean, mostly I read any form of or any combination of romantasy and fantasy, all levels of spice from full on, spice to zero spice, but I definitely prefer the spice. And yeah, so I go based on what I would like to read, the kind of genres that my followers, as small as it is, like, and the people who I follow, what they like as well, because they're my potential readers.
I love that. So you have absolutely take what your audience like and work with them. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm my own audience as well, so that's beneficial.
Definitely.
I think that's a great way to look at it.
It definitely is. What are your favourite tropes?
Oh, definitely enemies to lovers. I love the enemies to lovers.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to, like I said, it doesn't have to be spicy, but it just has to be really tense.
Yes.
And there has to be like the right level of build up. And that's, a real enemies to lovers. That's definitely what I love.
Yeah, that's one of our favourites too.
Right, fine, okay. What are your ideal writing conditions? Like, what helps you to get in the zone and get it done?
I have this whole little area. I call it my creation station. Because it's like my desk with my little setup and my laptop and a nice comfy chair, proper office chair. I've got like the right lighting and everything, but also I just to be clear, I absolutely suck at music and drawing, but I do have a keyboard, violin, and flute that I just play for fun sometimes in the same little zone. And I like to draw clothes, like all the clothes I imagine my characters wearing, I like to draw those. So I have everything in my creative station that puts me in the right mindset for, whatever, whenever my like creativity peaks, it's just always something there to add to it and fuel it.
That's amazing.
That's epic.
So, what research did you do for this book? And there's one that I actually want to ask about this, and it's the Viper's Library.
Yeah.
What research did you do for that book?
Lots about vipers. I actually got a book about snakes just for fun. But yes, research in general, not much, because like of course fantasy is when you're building your own world, you make it how you want it. But I did do some research into like vipers and what their their traits were and everything. And some things I already knew, so it kind of felt right. But I was like, oh, what else can they do? What else, is that can I use from real vipers into, and put into my book and things like that. So yeah, mostly that's it. Because like I said, because it's fantasy and it's set in like a kind of grim dark setting, I didn't really have to research much. Just names more than anything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, what have you learned most about yourself in your whole writing journey?
That I will never write the same subgenre in every book. For example, Out of Ashes is I mean, it's quite dark, but it's about witches and it's got it's quite serious, very focused on almost like paranoia. So it's a bit of a fantasy with a thriller aspect to it, whereas the Viper's Library is very much, focused on the dynamics between the characters and about my character breaking free from her past and accepting who she is as a person. My other book, Wings of Fire and Fury, which has just come out, so that's one of 5. That's a very big, epic fantasy set on, part on Earth, part on a world inspired by lots of mythology. So again, very different, and it's all about different kingdoms and the interactions with the kingdoms. So it's that kind of how can I describe it? That battle for personal freedom as well as freedom for, the people. Yeah. So they're just 3 of the books. Like I said, one that I've released. I've got so many more set in completely different worlds. One's a bit of a sci-fi, one's more of a steampunk. So any form of fantasy, I will write it.
You can get your mind around it, you'll do it. I love that.
What parts in your book do you find most difficult to articulate?
I think the parts where I'm pouring my personal emotions into. For example, Out of Ashes gets very emotional, and my character basically she kind of thinks she's going crazy, and I've had moments like that. So it's hard for me to make sure that I'm not doing the kind of obvious self-insert, that I'm writing it so other people would enjoy it too. That's what I really try hard to do. So it is based on my real emotions and real things that I have felt, but I'm putting it into a story that I feel other people would understand, rather than just being, chaotic and somebody's self-insert emotions.
Yeah, I think you can tell that as well. We've read a few books where it's been the person, like the author's own personal experience, and we've kind of not gelled with the book as much.
When I think when that happens, when you only have one perspective and it's personal, you really do miss different layers to a situation, and you can't see it from any other angle. And I think being able to look at things objectively really allows an author to give it some more oomph, if that makes sense.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I have pulled it off, but I certainly try to kind of, I write the emotional scenes, and then when I go back in editor mode, that's when I distance myself and I'm like, right, I've got it down. Now let's make this work for readers.
Yeah. So you edit everything yourself?
Yes.
Do you have a secondary editor, or is it all just your work?
I'm too poor for a secondary
editor. We hear it. We hear it.
I mean, I wish. I know it's money well spent. I just, it's just not something I can afford right now. But the moment I can, I completely, would never tell anybody not to use an editor if they could afford one. But if you can't, just do your best.
A future hope.
Exactly.
Question 8.
Oh. Are any of your characters or character traits based on anyone you know? Thank you.
Yeah. A few. But no, to be fair, it's just a few traits. One of my books, Wings of Fire and Fury, is based on one of my best friends who he is obsessed with wearing really light colored clothes to accentuate his skin tone. And it just always, it's just something that always stuck with me. It's one of those little traits. It was just something he was obsessed with. Another character, bit of a narcissist. So yes, I threw that one in there.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, what did one of my beta readers call me? The Taylor Swift of literature.
That is class.
That's
I didn't realise that, but yeah, okay.
Did you kill them off as well, like some of the other authors?
Might have done.
Gruesome as well. I hope
Which of your side characters do you think could have their own book or spin-off?
Well, there's one I actually did that with already. Was a character from Wings of Fire and Fury. My main focus was the protagonist from book 1, but I absolutely just really liked building on a character that was one of her friends. So I gave her the protagonist role in book 2. But from the Viper's Library, because I know that's the one you guys have read and that's the one we're focusing on, I think Kian, because he comes across as the kind of the humor, the light-hearted side, but he's got a sensitive side, and he doesn't fall, he doesn't feel as easily as for random people. He feels for the brothers, or the brothers by choice that he made before the beginning of the book. So when he meets certain people, certain ladies, plural,
yeah.
in the book, he just really clicks with them, and and I think it would be really fun to give him a spin-off novella at least.
I loved his personality. He was such a bright spark and funny, so funny with her. It was such a great vibe between him and obviously the FMC in this book. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked him.
I loved it.
He is a favourite. So how do you cope with a writer's block? How do you get yourself out of it?
Yeah, I think sometimes I just ride it out until the block is over, because I know some people try lots of things that work for them, but for me, I just need, it's telling me when I get writer's block, it's telling me I just need to take a break, back off, and just pause and stop thinking about, or stop forcing anything.
Oh, well.
Oh dear.
All of your cheering scared the crap out of me. I think she's back. I think she just had. So you started one. It's been in chapter 12 since March. I love that. What was it? What was it about? Have you burnt yourself?
Hello. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I didn't touch anything.
No stress. Technical issues, guys. Technical issues.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
I can't remember. I thought I just deleted all my questions as well, so I was not paying attention. I looked at my screen and it went to notes, and it's just a blank note, and I was like, "What did I do?" Morally great. Paramedic.
No, I was talking about Isis Block, wasn't I? Yeah. I can't force it. I just have to write it out, and then when I'm ready, I come back to it. But I make notes in between when I have ideas, and then like the more notes I make, the more it builds into getting me back into that mindset of writing again. So I suppose I just keep making notes until I've got so many. I think, oh, I best start writing these properly.
It's not
This
worth
could actually
forcing it.
be something.
If you could cast a movie of any of your books, who would be the MMC and the FMC?
Oh yeah, no, I honestly don't know. I mean, with the Vipers Library, it's going to be really difficult, because I mean, Zelenka is such a unique character, that it would be really hard.
Do you know what vibes I seem to get off her? Like Maleficent type vibes.
Yeah,
You said that a few times to me whilst reading.
yeah,
Obviously, she's a bit old to play her.
yeah. I mean, I was thinking, oh, what's her name that plays in X-Men? Oh my God, I should know X-Men. I love Marvel. Jean Grey. She plays, but in the newer versions of X-Men.
Yeah.
She was in Game of Thrones. I think she'd probably be real. I can't remember. Is it Sophie something? Sophie Lark? Or is that somebody else? I can't even remember. I'm terrible with celebrity names.
Turner. Thanks for Alice. Sophie Turner.
That's it. I knew it was a Sophie. Yes. Yeah, I think she would probably work because, you know, with the red hair, but also, you know, she's got that kind of regalness about her, but in like she pulls off the very nervous and anxious side that Zelenka has sometimes. So, you know, even though she tries to hide it, she could, you know, you'd probably see it in the way she actually probably see those moments, which you can't express fully just looking at somebody. You need the right facial expressions to see that when you're not describing it in a book. The MMC, I did have quite a few people on my list and I've forgotten them all because, oh my God, I'm sorry. Friday brain. But do you remember Teen Wolf? There was the older guy in it that played the older wolf.
No, I'm going
right at the beginning of it. And I said I'm terrible with celebrity names. I'm, you know, useless. Sorry. But he was also in that Can You Keep a Secret?
Yes.
He was in that.
What's his name?
That would be down
to Derek Hale.
Yes.
That's him, yeah.
He's cute.
Yeah, that would be Dante.
Perfect.
Yeah. Because he's got that kind of, you know, like sharp look to him, but you know, he's got that cheeky smile at the same time.
It gives
and
dragons
the regal look as well.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's a bit of a, you know, he's a bit of a leader as well. Not as much as, you know, like his. Well, I suppose we don't meet his sister in the first book. We meet, you know, she's like sort of like the more dominant one, but still.
Yeah.
Okay, my question. So with it being fantasy, with it not being set like up the road or anything like that, how do you keep a check on who, what, where, when, why, and how? Because must be so much imagination behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I use Scrivener for all my organizing. It's a writing app. So I have all my character list. I have a detailed list of all the characters, but I also have just a really simple like table with the character names, where they're from, approximate age or visual age, especially in the Viper's Library because they're all old. Um, and then a brief description. Same with places and significant events and everything. I have like a timeline of things that happen both before and throughout the story. That way, I know what's going on. But also, I think because it's my story, I've written it. I just know. Like, you can ask me anything, and it takes me a couple of seconds to remember, like, to find it. But I know, I can tell you which is north and south, and I've got a map in each book and everything. So
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I cannot, Alice. That's hilarious.
If you could collaborate with any author, who would it be?
oh god, yeah, I thought long and hard about that. I think it would be I don't know, like Carissa Broadbent, because like Serpent of the Wings of Night, I mean, I actually read that while I was writing this book, and I was like, oh my god, it's got a lot of similarities in it. Or also Adeline Grace, because I mean Belladonna has got similar vibes to Out of Ashes. In fact, somebody actually introduced me to her books because they said it was had similar vibes to Belladonna, and when I read it, I was like, oh my god, yeah, it does. So yeah, I think depending on the type of book I wanted to like write, those two would definitely be it.
They're amazing choices. Is that a little kitty behind you?
Oh yeah,
I saw it a minute ago, and I was just like,
I got distracted.
that's my foster kitten.
Oh my god!
So, yeah, she's going on Sunday.
oh no.
I don't know you can do that.
Oh no, it's all right. Hang on, because
I'd be touched.
I'm keeping this one.
Oh.
This is Petra.
Petrol.
Petra, like the female of Peter.
Yeah, that makes sense. Why?
Yeah, my cats are all named after characters from Peter Pan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
I know, I'm a crazy cat lady, so.
Which of the books would you turn or will you turn into an audiobook or TV series?
I mean, definitely one of the series. So, Out of Ashes would be out of that option. I think purely based on what gets more attention and what gets people going more, I probably would go with the Viper's Library, because I think it could, like, for an audiobook, it would be great. I'd get one of those, like, for Dante, I'd get, one of those male narrators with that really deep, like, gruff voice. Just for the ladies. And I think if it turned into, like, a TV series or movie, it would be something like, the Vampire Diaries set in the past. Almost, because with the combination of the vampires and the witches, and the shifters, I think people who would like a new version of that, but something different, I think would really go. They'd really go for something like that.
Yeah, I agree on that one. What is your biggest book ick or cringe?
Oh, certain words in spicy scenes, certain descriptions. Like, I mean, I like I said, I like the 5 full chili peppers, but there's just certain expressions, certain wordings that are just no.
Please tell me
that drives not, not romantic. And I know, it doesn't have to be. Not every single moment has to be romantic, because in reality, it's not always like that. But
Yeah.
still, it's just no, thank you.
I do love those videos where people are like listing their least favorite words and phrases in romance books. I was
Yeah.
talking to what's her name? Your friend, Scottish lady. What is her name? I thought G.
Geraldine.
Thank you, Geraldine. And she was saying about Hollow Hellion and eyes were never eyes, they were always orbs. And she was like, why is it an orb? And she was getting so frustrated. It's quite funny. So yeah, I hear it, certain phrases.
Mm-hmm.
Slippery slipper. That's what it is. Okay. Have you had any characters in your book? We touched on the narcissist earlier, but any of the actual characters that you started writing have turned into a villain, and then all of a sudden you're like, I actually cannot stand you. Like you actually hated a character that you've created yourself.
No, I haven't. I mean, like I said, even the ones that were meant to be villains, like they're supposed like I like them as the characters. You know, I like them for the book. I like them, you know, because they work in the book. They work for that story. But yeah, like, you know, there's the people. If I knew them in real life, I wouldn't like them.
Okay.
But I do like writing villains because I don't know, I just, like tapping into that side just, for one character or one or two characters. And then we go back to, yes, let's be nice again.
Yeah.
I think in this book, this is the book where I've hated the most people in one book.
Yeah.
It's only ever been like one person that I've hated, but I hated Casper, I hated the sisters. I was just like, oh my god, this poor girl cannot catch a break. There's always someone out against her.
Blow after blow, right?
Yeah. In fact, Casper was not originally planned at all. I just thought, oh, like as I was writing, I mean, without spoiling it for any readers, as I was writing, the scenes leading up to it, it just kind of, oh, let's just throw this in there, and poof.
It was perfect.
Added to the complications.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the way it ended. I cannot wait to get to book 2 because I can't find out. I need to know what happened.
I'm not even going to apologise for that one. I know. I'm can't have it all fun and games all the time.
Well, it got to like obviously the ritual that happened between her and the boys, and then after I thought, right, happily ever after in here now. He's going to propose down on one knee, probably have a baby, the whole shebang. No, this almighty bomb just went boom. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the only way I can explain it without spoiling it for anyone.
Yeah, boom, oh crap.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the quote on that on my next
Okay, so what is coming up next for you book-wise?
Book 3, the final book of the Wipers Library. Book 2 is already out. I really want to get the third book out there. I actually just released book 1 of Wings of Fire and Fury, which is my epic mythology fantasy. But I really need to get the third book of this out. Then I can focus on the rest of the 5-book series, plus the spin-off, plus the 3-book Next Generation trilogy of the next series. It's a lot. It's a lot. But yes, so
good, strong, upcoming like projects. It's good to hear that you're not like scrambling for ideas. They're just there waiting for you to pick them up and go.
Well, this is why it took me so long to actually publish my first book, because the one I've just released last month, Wings of Fire and Fury, that was the first book I ever wrote. It was planned as like a short story, and then it grew into a full length book, and then I was like, this isn't the end. No, 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 you know. And then it was, a trilogy, and then it was a pentalogy, and suddenly, it's like, I don't know, thousands of pages of a story. But I was like, this is too much to publish now, and I need to, and I was having so many ideas to work on other books. So I've got, plenty of ideas, things partially written just to get something down, things planned, things fully outlined. So I've got lots of projects in various stages ready to go, and I'm going through them one by one, adding more to the list. It's never ending. But yeah, it just means there's always going to be something for me to work on that I've already established the gist of the story and the general ideas, and it's not like I'm having to come up with a new idea every time. There are so many. Yeah. But yeah.
Are you going to any events this year?
Fortunately, because with me being in Spain and the way things are with my job, it's not easy for me to travel, because I'm a teacher, but I'm like an after school language teacher, so I don't teach in a regular school, I teach in a language school, but we go by the school year. So I only get school holidays, but not the full holidays, because we also do morning activities, and of course that's a really expensive time to travel.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult for me to get to any kind of events. But one day, hopefully, if I make writing my full-time job,
oh yeah,
a girl can dream.
I hope so for you.
You absolutely have to. Dreaming is the only thing that gets me out of bed some days.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. I mean, we are out of questions, but I can't. I like to get to know the authors, like just a little bit, like personally. If you had to put yourself down as a character that embodies a little bit of you, who would that character be? Like, from a book, let's say, keep it book-wise.
I mean, there is one, but I don't like to talk about it. I suppose. Oh God, it's like I don't even know. I mean, I know it sounds weird to say my own character's Alenka, but it's just, I think, because she was purposely written to be, like little things of myself in there. But I don't know, just any character that goes, that can fake confidence when she needs to, but like inside she's just like full of anxiety. Like that's me.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know, pick a character like that and that's me.
I loved that about her. You looked at her and she stood up as like this fierce queen, but once you did get to know her, there's such a softer, nicer side of her that only a few people got to see.
I think a lot of authors that we've spoken to will always say that their characters have each of their characters. So it could be from the FMC to the MMC to the side characters, each have a little bit of them in them. It must be nearly impossible not to drop a little of your own humor or sarcasm or your own kind of quirks into a book that you're writing.
Yeah. I mean, it's things like, you know, her lack of patience with people in general. You know, like, I mean, it always reminds me of like that little snippet of Morticia Adams walking out saying, "It's too peoply out here." Like, yeah, that's exactly something, you know, Zelenka would say.
Definitely.
I say it all the time when I'm in supermarkets. It's far too much. Like,
It is.
Yeah, I have to go at 3 o'clock in the morning, find one of those 24-hour Tesco's or.
That is a perfect idea.
I used to love, well, I mean, this was before child. I used to love going to Tesco in the middle of the night, like just going, getting it done. Hardly anyone in there. And I didn't have to deal with anyone. And they play the best music as well at that time of night. Just in case you want to rave. Tesco in the middle of the night is fabulous.
It's keeping them awake.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine. I used to work in a Sainsbury's, so yeah, late nights were not fun.
No. How many years have you been in Spain?
16 now.
Oh, you've been there for a while.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's from Spain, so him and my mum moved. They retired, and they were like, "Fancy coming with us?" I was like, "Sure, why not?"
Why not? I mean, you're missing out on all the rain.
Oh well, my area, no, we get a lot of rain. We're in the north, so yeah, all the rain. I mean, I'm actually from Wilmslow, which is just south of Manchester. So all the rain we got there, we were either getting just before or just after here. But here it just kind of falls down and then we get the sun again. But in Manchester it was just drizzle, more drizzle for days and days.
Days and days, weeks, months, years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. It's been so nice talking to you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And going through again, I'm the one that struggles with romantasy, like, or fantasy. Shah loves it. And I just struggle, but I really enjoyed just like the way you write, if that makes sense. Like if you wrote a genre that was more my speed, I know I would like it because you have a really nice penmanship is how I'm gonna say it. So I don't know how else to say it.
Oh, thank you.
Right, you're so welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us your time.
Oh no, thank you.
Yeah.
And anybody that has not checked out Emilia Dashfire, go and have a look on Kindle. All the books are on there.
Oh yes. Make sure you follow, make sure you like, make sure you do everything because indie authors need all the backing that they can get. And that is why we are.
Definitely.
Amazing. Well, you are free to go on with your Friday evening. We've got an attention seeker in the chat, as per always. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. You are free to stay and chat with us, or you are free to leave. If anybody else wants to come up in the chat, give us a thumbs up, give us a wave, whatever, and we'll drag you in and have a chin wag with you. Okay,
well, thank you for having me. I'm gonna, I don't know, find a movie to watch. Friday night movie, and get the popcorn in the microwave.
Love that.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.